Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance, episode 81 of Guess the Trade. That's where subscribers send in their loadouts. We take a look at the tools, and then we see if we can guess what it is that they do with those tools in the comment section down below. Well, in episode 80, we looked at Jeff Bowery. He had a Veto Pro Pack Tech MCT High Vis with a lot of really great tools in there. And then he also had the Veto Tool Row, the TRLC, that a lot of you were really glad to get a look at of how someone had that loaded out. Well, what was it that he did with those tools? He said that he is a master electrician in Texas, but he said this particular loadout was what he uses when he works on generators, whether it's for maintenance or whether it's for repairs. So I remember a lot of you guessing electrician, but I remember a lot of you also specifically saying generator work as well. So some really good guesses, and appreciate you, Jeff, for sending in your loadout. Well, today we're going to look at two loadouts because they only have a few pictures apiece. We're going to look at Cable and then also look at Tyler. We're going to be looking at a Veto MB5B infrared and then also a Klein tool tote as well. So that's the two bags we're going to look at today. But the first one that we're going to look at is Cable. He's got that Veto infrared MB5B. Let's go ahead and take a look at his tools and then see if we can guess what it is that he does. So we'll start out with the outside of his bag. Again, I love the infrared look. I've got that MCTP. Absolutely love it. He did tell me in his email that this was his very first Veto bag. Outside, he's got some sort of a small light up there clipped on. He's also got some bit holders. I think those might be the railers, but I'm not sure. Looks like a flashlight. Also over there on the other side, looks like he's got a pouch of some sort hanging off, black electrical tape. We can see that. And then also a padlock. We'll move on to the next picture. So here is that front pouch. Looks like he's got some test leads. Looks like he's got some butt connectors in a pouch over there as well. Some red lithium USB, so he's got a Milwaukee something as far as that takes those. Moving on to one of the side pouches. So there is a fluke meter. Let's see. I think it's a 17B plus digital multimeter right there. And then his test leads tucked in, so that meter fits in there. And then he's got a Klein tools. I don't know if that's a digital angle finder or something. Maybe we'll see that in a minute. Move on to the next one. The other side pouch. Okay, so it looks like he's got a Holstery Joey pouch hanging off of one of the belt clips or one of the tape measure clips. And then he's got, there's a Milwaukee flashlight that he's got in there as well. And then there is that installation driver. So maybe some of you had the question of, you run the installation driver, you were curious if it would fit in the side pouch of the MB5B. So that's a good look at it right there. Move on to the next one. So this is down in the bottom of that. He's got a couple of his heads even fitting down in there as well. So here is a picture of his bag opened up. Again, the MB5B only has the tools on that front side. He's got his light clipped in there to where you can see in there as well. He's going to pull these tools out, but there's just a look at how it is loaded out. Next picture, here's a different vantage point of it as well. He's got a lot of Icon tools, a lot of Milwaukee tools, it looks like, from what I can see from here. Maybe we'll see here in a minute. So here are the tools loaded out. Let me see if he zooms in. He doesn't. There's his name. So we're going to look at all these. So up there at the top, we've got, again, that Milwaukee USB light. A lot of people like that one. I haven't personally owned any of those because I didn't want to get into having a whole nother battery outfit. But I know a lot of people that like those, or even that kind of light just in general. So that is a Klein. I was trying to zoom in. Yeah, it is a digital angle finder. So that's that little digital level. The Milwaukee, it looks like maybe that's that new subcompact Milwaukee. I haven't tried that. Heard some good things about it. And then he's got the installation driver as well. So basically he's got that small subcompact if he wants an impact driver, and then he's got the installation driver, which can be a drill, but you can also put the other bits in it as well with that collet. Now it's not an impact with that collet, but it still will hold those type of bits. So he's got both those. He's got the Icon hammer right there. Let's see, the fluke meter we already looked at. Small butt connectors. So that's going to be interesting. I know what he does, so I'm not going to guess, but I think that might throw some of you off. He's got a Milwaukee demolition style screwdriver right there. Also the snap-ons. He's got both the 9-inch, or no, those are actually Icon. So that's the Icon version and the 9-inch. They did a good job of, replicating those. I didn't even see the Icon name until this then. Thought it was Snap-on. I think, is this the LTT ratcheting driver right there? I know several of you have said, hey, you need to try that out. But, I mean, if you've watched my channel much, I'm not a big ratcheting screwdriver fan. So I'm not going to spend big bucks on one anyways. But a lot of people have said good stuff about that. I think that's what that is. I could be wrong. So he's also got that. He's got the Cobalt cutters right there from Knipex. Those are fabulous. A small adjustable wrench. I'm not real sure the brand. He's got tape over the top of it. And now those actually look like the small, well, they have to be because Icon doesn't have the smaller ones. So those are the snap-on. He's got the green handles. That's the same color I've got. Then he's got a Klein precision driver. Going on down some more of the Milwaukee shears. He's also got the those could be Icon, I guess, as far as the smaller little wire strippers. And then also I think it's a crimper as well. But those could be Snap-on again. I'm not very good at telling the difference between those. He's got the flip socket that goes all the way up to the 3/4 size. And then he's also got a drill guide right there. A pair of pliers wrench. Those are the 180s. Milwaukee, USA flathead. And then a couple precision drivers. And then I thought those were going to be the Bondus hex keys, but those are Icon. I didn't know they had a colored set like that. I'm going to assume the BASEUS is either a power bank or maybe that's just something that holds some headphones or something like that. Empire torpedo level with magnets, and then a Rather bit rail. Looks like that's a hex key set right there. So again, that's all the picture of his tools. That's what he's got in his MB5B. So you kind of could see the loadout. Let me go back one real fast. Or actually, we'll go ahead and that's his name right there. So there's all the tools that will fit in there. And then there they are in the bag. So if you've been curious, hey, because I get questions all the time and I got rid of my MB5B, you think it'd be good for me or whatever, it's not going to hold as many tools as like the MCT or anything like that because you get two sides. It kind of splits that bag to give you sections to kind of put stuff in different places. You're putting it all in this one side, but you can still fit quite a bit in there. But maybe that will help you out. You saw his tools. Here they are loaded in there. Looks like he still has a little bit of room, but that kind of gives you an idea on that. So there is that bag loaded out. Here is another picture of that. There is the side pouch where he fits that installation driver. There's his meter in the other side. And then here is that outside of the bag. But that's Cable's loadout of his Veto Pro Pack MB5B. So take a look at the tools. If you've got questions for him, ask those down below. But then guess what you think he does with those tools. I already know, so I'm not going to give you any hints. And I think his is actually going to be pretty hard for some of you. I think I only know because I do some of the same kind of work that he does. And I saw some things in there that would kind of lead me in their direction. And I know a few subscribers out there that kind of do the same thing as well. So if they're probably going to see some things and probably guess that also. But don't forget to guess what it is you think Cable does in the comments below. Well, the second loadout we're going to look at is Tyler. He has a Klein tote that we're going to look at. And he said that this tote was passed down to him from his father who was in the same trade. So he's got the same bag. It's kind of passed from a generation. So I think that's always cool. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at his tools and see if we can guess what Tyler does. So here is the outside of the tote. Again, it is Klein. I'll show you that in just a little bit. You'll see a logo. And he pulls all these tools out. So I'm not going to try to like zoom in here and try to figure out what stuff is. But essentially in this tote, you can see around the outside, it's mostly pliers all around the outside. Looks like all screwdrivers and bigger type tools in that middle bucket type portion. Lockout, tag out lock right there. So that should give you an idea as well. Moving on to the next one. So there's that Klein logo to show you that it is Klein. Looking like a lot of Knipex pliers around the outside. There he's also got some bit holders, a magnetizer, demagnetizer. Looks like maybe a small level or a small tubing cutter. One of the two on that carabiner as well. And then there on the right he's got a tape measure. Next picture is a bird's eye view. So I'm seeing a lot of Klein screwdrivers. Makita sockets, fluke meter, Knipex pliers, probably some Klein pliers as well. Maybe some even Greenlee tools. I'm not real sure what that level up there is, but we'll see here in a minute. So now we're going to start looking at the tools. So he's got a pair of Knipex 300s and then an alligator 300. So he's got a push button and an alligator in the 300 size. And then he's got the 250s. See, I would have guessed that those 250s were 180s. And the 300s were 250s because I just don't see a lot of people running 300s. But again, just depends on what you do. You know, like I always tell people all the time, 180 is my favorite size, but 180s aren't going to work for, you know, a lot of people. We all do different stuff. So he's got those there. He's also got those snap-ons in the, I'm going to assume those are the 9-inch pair because they're next to the 250s. They got the green handles. My green handles are the smaller. And then he's got a pair of the Knipex dual tone there, that special edition ones. With the chrome and the black mixed together. Now those are the 180 in size. And then he's got a pair of Klein Tools USA lineman pliers right there as well. Next picture, so we got some vice grips locking pliers, a pair of 250s on the diagonals. He's got a, I think that's the Klein, as far as that crimper right there, made in the USA. Knipex forged wire strippers, and then a small cable cutter right there as well. Let's see, so this one is turned a little bit, but there is that those green levels. I'm not sure what the brand is on the green levels. Greenlee, so they are Greenlee. That's what I was thinking. And then he's got a Greenlee ratcheting cutter. The Makita sockets, those are probably 3/8, I guess. And then he's got the Klein foldable hex keys, Pika pencil, reamer, center punch, white paint marker, some little pins. And then he's also got a square right there. Panduit, as far as that tool there. Is that a zip tie? I'm not sure what that does. Maybe that's a zip tie tool. I haven't ever used anything like that, so I'm not sure. And then he's also, let's see what the sizes are on these wrenches over here. A 7/16 and a 3/8 snap-on. And then he's also got a couple different other snap-on, like box type wrenches over there as well. Let's see, Klein insulated precision, Klein precision like multi, and then also an insulated driver right there as well, and a demo driver, which we can see a little bit better here. And then he's got the blackout set. As far as the blackout screwdrivers, I think that's the low set because there isn't any squares in that. Threading tool, or a tapping tool, and then also he's got, I think, is that the 15-in-1 ratcheting, 13-in-1 ratcheting. I can't remember what the two colors are. One of them comes with orange, one of them comes with black, but it's that ratcheting screwdriver that holds the bits. Tools and Tactics really likes that one. That's one of them that he talks about all the time. And then he's also got that small stubby multi down there, and then a couple files. Also that 3/8 socket right there as well. That's snap-on. And then a Fluke 177 on his meter that we can see right there. So that was a small level that was on that carabiner that I saw a little while ago. And then he's got the Milwaukee Impact, and then that Klein hollow magnetic nut driver set. I absolutely love those. You know, I've said that a lot of times. I'm curious, Tyler, just to see what you think about those. Now, you do have to be careful with those, the same as any kind of magnetic nut driver that's hollow like that. Like whenever you go to take a nut off, like they work great for bolts as far as the magnet, but whenever you go to take a nut off, you got to make sure you kind of leave it on the end threads so that when you pull your screwdriver off, you can just take it off and it not be stuck in the screwdriver. But I actually really like those. They've worked out really well for me. And then again, he's got a extension right there as far as to hold 1/4-inch bits. And then he's also running that Milwaukee Impact, which is there. And then he's got also inside of his bit holders that were Railers are also self-tapping drill bits. So those are fantastic. Like if you don't have a set of those and you do any kind of tapping, you need to get you a set. Greenlee utility knife, Lufkin 25-foot tape, and then a Milwaukee Rover light right there as well. There is that bag empty in case you're curious about what the inside of it looks like. Again, the outside looks like it's just basically a bunch of pockets for mostly pliers. And then now you can kind of see the screwdrivers would go in those one slots, and then maybe your meter in that bigger pocket. So there's lots of nice stuff in there, and then that big open spot. And again, I just think it's really cool that this was passed down to him from his dad, who also works in the same type of field. There's his name. So there's the bag empty. There's the tools that are in it as I scroll back through there. So you can kind of get an idea again, pause and zoom if you need to check out any of these that you might have missed. And then here they are loaded down into the bag, looking at it from the top. And then there they are as far as the side view. But after you've checked out those tools in Tyler's Klein Tote, don't forget to guess what it is you think he does with those in the comments below. I think his is definitely an easier guess than what Cable's is. So you might want to get a little bit more specific. Say, I know for sure he's this, but I think he works in this part of that field, that kind of a thing like that. Or maybe you got some questions for Tyler about the bag, about the tote, about any of the tools that are in there. Drop those in the comment section below as well. I appreciate both Cable and Tyler for sending your loadouts. Both really good options to look at. A lot of people ask about the MB5B, and then I don't think we've seen the Klein tote like that before. It looks like a really good tote in my opinion. I'm going to go look it up and kind of see what the pricing is and all that kind of stuff whenever I go inside and kind of check that out. But again, I hope this video helps in some way. I hope it's useful. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. I'll see you on the next video.